friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. My name is Ashley and oh my goodness, today's project is something that you are going to stop and watch because we are going to be using a free design program called Canva to make one of these chip bags right here. These chip bags are all the rage for everything right now. All the crafters right now are making these for party favors, wedding favors, baby showers, all the things. They are so stinking cute. And we are gonna make one free using Canva. Now, I'm sure you've heard of Canva. I know I have. I've heard about it for the last couple of years, and I don't know why I am so stubborn sometimes, but I absolutely refused to try and learn Canva. And since coming back from Tennessee in February, I was convinced that I needed to start using Canva. And now, 2 months removed from that, I can stand here today and do a palm to face thing and go, what in the world was I doing? Just being so stubborn. Canva is so stinking easy to use, y'all. Like so easy. I honestly have been using Canva for everything. Obviously, chip bags, but SVG files for Cricut, I've been using Canva. My thumbnails for YouTube here, Canva. Editing my reels for my social medias, Canva. It is amazing how awesome Canva is. Now, I've been paying for the Pro Edition. However, today I am going to create a chip bag with you only using the free version of Canva because I want you to grow to love Canva and then you'll be inspired to actually pay for Pro because it's 100% worth it. The cool thing about this project is not only are we going to be using Canva, the free version, we're not going to touch our Cricuts ever. We are not going to need a fancy machine. So if you're a crafter that doesn't have one of these, but you want to make one of these, we can do it. And I'm going to show you how. So with that being said, obviously, at some point in time, we are going to go to the computer and we're going to do a little bit of design work. But before that, you are going to need some supplies. Now, the very first thing you're going to need for this project is a printer. Now, you could technically get this sent over to a Staples or an Office Max or something like that. But I would suggest just buying a printer because it's going to be so easy to make this project. You're never going to have to leave the house. I will link all the supplies I'm going to be using for this project all in the description of this video, so you really don't have to memorize all of it. You're just going to need to look for the links. The next thing you're going to need to grab is some high quality photo paper. This is my favorite brand, and the weight of this paper, which is the 30 pound, is perfect for chip bags like this. The print on this and the shine and the gloss absolutely looks amazing. That is because we're going to be using a really nice printer, but B, the best printer paper you could possibly purchase. This stuff right here may be the best, but it's not expensive either, which is great. You're going to need some glue or double-sided stick tape. I have used hot glue to enclose chip bags before. You can use that if you wanted to go that route, but my favorite glue for projects like these is double-sided stick tape. And I have two different versions, one like this and another one like this. We'll get into the assembly in a little bit, but you're just gonna need some sort of glue. I would not suggest using cardstock glue or Elmer's glue or something like that because it takes a little bit longer to dry. So at the very least, get yourself some hot glue. But the best, in my opinion, is going to be some double-sided stick tape like this. Now, the next two things are definitely optional. You don't need them, but they do give you the full look of a chip bag on the very top and bottom. The very first optional supply is going to be something that looks like this, and they're called pinking shears, but you know those like really cute kid scissors that would make like the funky edges? I don't know what they're called, but that's what it looks like. It kind of has like a jagged edge on there. Anyway, this is optional. I think it just adds to the look, but you know, you don't need to have it. The other thing that is optional, but I just love the finished look, is something like this. And you can tell mine's like crusty, dusty, old. It's been used. I've had this thing for like 5 years. It is a trooper. And all you do is put your paper down in here and you turn the handle and then you get some ridged edges like this. So technically you don't need it, but it does help give you that added finished look if you wanted to. But again, not necessary. All right, y'all, let's go to the computer and do a little bit of design work. And then we'll be able to print and assemble these. And by the end of this video, you are going to have a chip bag that you made for free within Canva, and it is going to look phenomenal. I guarantee it. I guarantee that by the time we are done with this video, you are going to be so proud of what you made for free in Canva. Let's go.
The very first thing you want to do is head over to canva.com and create a free account with them.
Then what you want to do is press create design, and we are going to come down here to custom sizes, and you want to create a new design that is 11 inches wide and 8.5 inches in height. Then you want to press create new design, and a new window is going to pop up. Now what we need is the ruler marks. So what you're going to do is come over here to file, and then you just want to come into settings and show rulers and guides. Now what we need to do is build in our guides. I'm going to come over to this line right here, and I'm going to click and drag. It will look like you aren't going to do anything, but trust me, you just want to click over here on this line and drag it over. And this, I want this line to be at 2 3/4 or pretty close to it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here to the line again, and I'm going to click and drag, and I want this to be at 8 1/4 or close to it. Okay, now what we need to do is build in our bottom margins. So we're going to come up to here, we're going to click this line, and we're going to drag it. Now I want these to be at a 1/2 inch, so 0.5 or close to it. I'm going to do the same thing I've done before. I'm going to click back here at the top line. I'm going to drag it down, and this one I want to be at the 8 mark. So these lines right here is what you need to use in order to build your chip bag. So going back over into my Toy Story chip bag design, you will see that I have these purple lines, right? Everything in the middle section right here, that is going to be your front portion of your bag or the main portion of your bag. So if we come back over here into our blank template, everything that is in this rectangle right here, that is going to be your front portion of your design, the main portion of your chip bag. Now everything that's over here on the left and everything that's over here on the right in the smaller rectangles, those are what you're going to fold over and create the back portion of your chip bag that you would fold over and close your chip bag together. So everything that's in the top margin right here and the bottom margin, what that is going to end up being is your rippling of your paper. So you definitely don't want to put anything down here that you want to be legible, because you may end up rippling it to where you can't read it or cutting it off because you use pinking shears. Now in my Toy Story chip bag, you will see that I have these rippled lines right here on the top and the bottom. I love adding this effect into my chip bag designs because it does give it an added effect when we go to assemble this. So I want to include it into my template. So what I'm going to do is go back into our blank template that we're working on, and I'm going to come over here into elements, and all I want to do is insert this square shape. Now this, I'm just going to make the width of my entire design.
And I'm going to make this as small as it will let me.
Now what you can do is select the color. So if you wanted a different color, you totally could do that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bump the transparency down to 40 and then just click out of it. Then what I'm going to do is select my rectangle and drag it up close to the top, not at the very top though. And then I'm going to copy and paste, so Command C and Command V, or you could just right click and press copy and paste. And I'm going to just drag this down just a little bit. Now I'm going to create a couple of these little ripple marks. Okay, and if you want to make sure that everything is evenly spaced, you just want to select your charcoal rectangles that you created, and we'll come here to position, and you can tidy this up so everything is nice and aligned. Then what you want to do is select your top ripple marks, and we're going to copy and paste, and we are going to drag these down into the bottom margin. You want to make sure that everything on the top looks about what it is on the bottom. Now the one thing that I would like to note, that when we print this, if you're worried about those purple lines, they go away when you save your thing. The purple lines are there just so you know where to put things. Okay, so this right here is going to be your finished template for your chip bag. So you're going to be able to use this over and over and over again for every single project. What you would want to do is save this. And let's say that we exited out and we wanted to create a whole new design. You would just need to go back into your Canva account. You're going to see your template design. What you would want to do instead of ruining this chip bag template is you would just want to click these three dots and you would make a copy, and then you would click on the copy. And this right here, you have your lines already set up and your margins and also your rippling of your paper. You have it all ready to go so you can create a new design. Okay, so the one thing that I would like to note is that if you are using a Canva Pro account, then everything that you see that has this crown right here will be available for you to use. However, if you are using a free account, the items that do not have a crown are the ones that you're going to be able to use and not have to pay for the pro subscription. So you just want to make sure if you're using a free account that we are going to be using images that don't have the crown. Now let's say you want to create a chip bag that looks something like this. The very first thing you want to do is make a background. So going over into our blank template, what you want to do is go over here into elements, and then you want to search up whatever theme that you're going for today. So for me, I'm actually going to do a different type of chip bag, and I'm going to do a like happy bee day with a bee and honeycomb theme. So what I'm going to put in here is honeycomb background. Then I'm going to go into photos. And remember, if we have a crown and you're not paying for Canva Pro, then you won't be able to use it. You're going to want to search for one that does not have a crown. This is the very first one that I see that does not have a crown, and I actually really like that, so I'm just going to click on it. Now what I want to do is fill up my entire background. So what I'm going to do is right click, and I'm going to press Set Image as Background. So now my entire background looks nice and cute. I absolutely love it. Now what I want to do is add a little shape to the front so I can put some texts on it. What I'm going to do now is go over here to All, press the X mark up top, and I'm going to go over here to Shapes. Now I want to insert a shape that kind of looks like my honeycomb that's right here, and that's this one right here. So I'm just going to insert that into my chip bag. Now I'm going to resize this to fit only in between these two purple lines right here. Remember, this is going to be the front of our chip bag. Okay, now what I want to do is color this. So I'm going to come over here into this little color. And I absolutely love that Canva, when you have a photo inserted, they already give you the swatches of what is in that photo that's on your chip bag, which makes matching up all the rest of your elements so much easier. So all I'm going to do is just choose a kind of like a darker color. And if you wanted to tone down the transparency of it, you totally could by coming over here, and we could just make this lighter if we wanted to, but I'm just going to keep it like this. Now what I want is to put some text on the inside of my honeycomb. So I'm just going to press the letter T on my keyboard, and a new text box is going to pop up. If you didn't want to do that, you could come over here into text, click that, and put add to canvas, or you can choose one of their font combinations, making it really easy. For me, what I'm going to do is do Happy Bee Day, and I'm just going to resize this to fit inside my honeycomb. Okay, now what I want to do is change my font over. So I'm going to come over here. The great thing about Canva is even if you don't have a pro account, you still have access to so many fonts. So you're just going to need to find one that makes you happy. I have chosen the Bobby Jones font. I love this look, so I'm going to click out of that. Now, if you wanted to change the spacing of your lettering, all you would need to do is come up here to this like spacing button, and you can change the spacing of your lines, but you also can change the spacing of your lettering if you wanted to. Just resize that to fit inside my honeycomb. Now what I want to do is add some cute little bees to this. So I'm going to go back into elements, and instead of searching for shapes, I'm going to go out of that. And right now for searching for elements, I'm going to do bees and then just press return. I'm going to go into graphics this time. And this cute little bee right here is just screaming at me. It's so stinking cute. So I'm just going to click on that and add it into my chip bag. Now what I'm going to do is just move this around and resize this to fit into my cute little chip bag that we have going on. Isn't this turning out so cute? Okay, so if you needed to change the colors of your image, you have all the swatches up here. These are all the colors that is in that graphic that you added into Canva. So what I want to do is I'm going to change the color of the bee to kind of look like it should belong with everything else. So I'm going to change it over, match the chip bag. See how I changed the B to match the chip bag? How now it looks like it fits there versus that. You know what I mean? Just changing things up a little bit. Okay, I want to put another one down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to click on my B. I'm going to copy and paste, Command C and Command V, or you could just right click and press copy and paste. I'm going to drag this down here. And now I want this B to be facing the other direction. So I'm going to come up here to flip. I'm going to flip this horizontally. Now I'm just going to twist it just a little bit so it fits right here. Now you will notice on my chip bag that everything that's going to be on the front of my chip bag is only going to be within these two vertical lines, but also these two horizontal lines. The reason for that is because this is going to be your front of your bag when we fold it over, but also anything that's underneath these horizontal lines that could potentially get cut off or crimped when we go to make this later on. Because I have 0 black in my design, I'm going to change my black Happy B-Day over. So I'm going to go to text color and I want this to be brown, just like in my B. I want it all to be matchy-matchy. I feel like I need another element to go on the sides, something that screams more B. So I'm going to go back into elements and I'm going to search up B again and go into graphics. And this cutie patootie right here, I love it. So I'm just going to click on that. And now I'm going to work on the sides. I'll put one right here and I'm going to make this smaller because I don't want it to carry over to the front of my bag. Then I'm going to copy and paste, Command C and Command V. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to bring this up here. However, I want this to be going in the other direction. So I'm just going to come up here to flip and flip horizontal. And I want this to be, see how I'm like carrying it all the way over to the side? Looks great. Okay, so now let's look for the UPC codes in the nutrition label because every chip bag has that, right? So I'm going to come up here and press clear and let's just search up nutrition facts label. Okay, we're going to go into graphics, so see all. And we're looking for one that doesn't have a crown because this account does not pay for pro. And the very first thing I see is going to be my barcode. So I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to put this down at the very bottom. Resizing this. Now I want this to stay in between this line and the very edge. Looks good. If you wanted to recolor this, you totally could by just pressing this color button and you can recolor it. Going back over into elements, searching the nutrition facts label, and we're going to look for a nutrition facts label. Now I can tell you if you're not paying for pro, chances are you won't be able to find one here. Everything that's over here has a crown, and if you're not paying for pro, you won't be able to use it. So how to import your own clip arts into Canva, you're just going to want to go to your internet browser, and then we want to put in here, let's do nutrition label, and then just press return. We're going to go into images, and you are just going to find a nutrition label that you like. Okay, so I found one that I like. So all I'm going to do is right click, and I'm going to press copy image. I'm going to go back into my Canva template and I'm just going to right click and I'm going to press paste. All right, there is my copied nutritional facts for the birthday. Now I don't need 2 of these, right? I only want one, and I think I'm going to use this one right here, the larger one. So I'm going to come over here into edit photo and do crop. And I'm just going to crop my photo and only using that left birthday nutritional label. When you're done cropping it, you just want to press done. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over here, over the top of that UPC code. Now, if you wanted to, you could definitely keep going and add some more wording, more elements, whatever you wanted. But you know what? This final product right here, I love the look of this. So to print this, what you want to do is come over here into share, and we're going to press download. And we want to change this over from PNG to PDF because we're going to be printing this, and you just want to press download. Now this is going to go into your downloads folder. You're going to want to find that file, and then you're going to want to print this. So Command P. Okay, so for me, I can actually print borderless. So what I'm going to do is come down here to printer, and I'm going to press yes. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to select my printer that I'm going to be using, and I'm going to come down here to paper handling, and I want this to be scaled to fit to 8.5 by 11 but borderless. I'll show you why borderless printing is absolutely amazing when I get done printing this. Then all you want to do is print your chip bag. Now that we have our print printed out, I just want to note here the reason why I love my printer so much is that it prints completely borderless. So you're going to be able to see that my color for my prints goes all the way to the edge. So I'm not going to have to trim anything up, and I don't have a border anywhere. Most printers do leave a buffer around everything. You would then have to trim that up, but my particular printer goes all the way to the edge, so I don't have to do any of that. Okay, now what you want to do is just taking your print and you're gonna fold this in, meeting the two ends together. All you want to do is take and just do a little pinch at the very top right here. Don't go all the way down, just a little pinch at the very top. And we're gonna go to the bottom and you are gonna pinch at the very bottom. Then what we're going to do is lay this flat, and you will see that there is going to be pinch marks down here and up here. However, you don't want to pinch mark all the way down because it's going to ruin the look of your chip bag. But this right here is just going to help align everything together. Now what you want to do is I'm going to put double-sided stick tape on this side right here, so the right side. You could use this if you wanted to, but I'm going to use this. And I'm going to put the double-sided stick tape at the very edge of my chip bag. We're going to go all the way down, and we're going to just take some scissors and we're going to trim the edge off. Push down. Okay, then what you want to do is taking more double-sided stick tape, and we are going to go on the top and bottom of our template. So we're going to go over to the right, pull this all the way down till you get to the very edge and cut. Then we're going to do the same thing for the very top. We're going to take some double-sided stick tape and go from the top all the way down. Now for these, you don't want your tape to be carried over to the edge, the outer edge of your template, because then you'll end up seeing that when we assemble this. Okay, the very first thing we want to do is taking our short side, so the side that only has one tape on it, you want to peel the white paper off of your tape. Then what you want to do is you want to put this end over the top of this right here. You're going to keep this at the very edge. The great thing about the template that we created is you have these lines for the bag. So we are just going to lay them together. You want to make sure and line up your lines so everything looks nice and good. See how my lines line up here and then line up here. My hand, you kind of have like a cylinder. Then you just want to push down onto your bag, your pieces of paper, so your things are now stuck together. So this is what it's going to look like when it's done. Okay, then what you want to do is taking one side of your cylinder. I am going to work on the top portion right now, and I am going to take the paper backing off my tape. Remember that little pinch mark that we did right here? It's going to be hard to see, but there's a pinch mark right there. You want to line the pinch mark up to the middle of this right here. So you don't have to be perfect, but it definitely helps that we have the pinch mark. The pinch mark is right here, and my back middle is right here. When you have that done, you want to line up your edges to the very top, and you just want to crimp them down. Okay, now what you want to do is take your chip bag that you're going to be using. I would like to note here, I have a 28 gram or a 1 ounce bag. I think these are a little bit too big for this project. I would get the smaller size chip bags for this project. Now I don't have any smaller chip bags, so all I did was I just opened mine up just to let some air out so I can show you that this actually works. But what you want to do is now put this into your chip bag. If you had the smaller ones, you wouldn't have had to have let the air out. It's just because mine are huge. Okay, when it's nice and tucked in there, then what you want to do is take your paper backing off the bottom portion of your chip bag. So this is it's sticky now. So all the paper backing is nice and taken off. Okay, what we want to do again is find that little pinch line that's right here, and we want to line it up to the middle of the back of our chip bag. Now, once we have our things stuffed, it does kind of get a little difficult, but you just want to try really hard to get your ends lined up. When you have that lined up, you can see that I'm like taking my fingers and I'm pulling a little bit. You don't want to rip your paper, but you definitely want to get some tension in there. and pull your ends together, and then we just want to flatten them out. Now I'm going to go to the other side, doing the same thing. Once you've done it once, you don't generally have an issue on trying to figure out how to close them up. So if you didn't have the scalloping tools or the crinkle thing, your bag is technically finished, and this is what the final look would look like. And it looks really cute. And can you believe that we actually made this for free in Canva? This turned out amazing. But to give it more of a look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little crinkle paper thing. I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to stick my bottom end into the corrugator. Okay, when I have my piece of paper stuck in there, all I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this dial until it covers all of my gray lines that we created earlier. When you have that finished, then all you want to do is go the opposite direction and it'll spit it back out. Now you have like a crinkle on your chip bag. Isn't that so cool? Okay, doing the same thing for the other side. And look at that. It turned out so cute. Okay, now what you want to do is taking your scissors, and we just want to trim just the very, very top off. You don't want to trim all of it. You just want to trim the very top off so it gives you that nice little scalloped edge. Now that we have it all lined up, you're going to see that my triangles all go in a pattern like you would normally see on a chip bag. Okay, doing the same thing with this one, and look at this finished scalloped edge. My goodness, did this not turn out absolutely fabulous and free? Wasn't this tutorial on how to use Canva so stinking easy? I swear I don't know what I was thinking about not wanting to learn this program, because it's actually really easy. And we created this file for free in Canva and printed it straight up out of their program. We did not need a fancy Cricut or any type of fancy machinery. We just needed a free design program. Now I need to know from you, would you be wanting more Canva tutorials? I am definitely no expert at it, but I love tinkering around with stuff. And now that I have figured out that I absolutely love Canva, I am so willing to do more Canva tutorials because I want to do all the things. You let me know, do you want to see more Canva tutorials, or would you just rather have me stick to Cricut ones? All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create, and I'll see you later.